Energy and ambition are labels that many young people prefer to go by. The growing complexity of youth transitions, work types, and the changes in the labor markets, however, are challenges facing governments across Africa, including Kenya. Did you know that 78% of Kenya's population is aged below 35 years? And that between 500 and 800,000 youth enter the labor market annually? 87% of these jobs are found in the informal sector. However, the World Bank has recorded 26% youth unemployment rate in recent years.
A study that I'm sure you probably have heard of, which say that over 35% of Kenyans, young Kenyans aged 18 to 30, were willing to give a bribe or receive a bribe. 50% thought that corruption was profitable as long as you're not caught. That is a catastrophic illustration of moral decay. And it's because we've done everything else. So you have all these well-educated people who have no moral core in them.
Kenya can harness this demographic dividend and shift balance of the labor market. To realize this opportunity, there is need to reduce vulnerabilities to drugs, crime, and despondency, and to increase positive youth development. Various stakeholders such as Talanta Mtaani Consortium and technical, vocational education and training institutions are championing efforts to promote access to lifelong learning and strengthen livelihoods for the vulnerable youth.
Our intention has really been to bring an all-rounded youth who's more resilient and ready for life, work, and society.
In partnership with the following TVET institutions, Talanta Mtaani Consortium is implementing a project seeking to promote buy-in on whole youth development.
We envisage working with the startup of the 12 TVETs that we're engaged with to basically infuse within this TVET program delivery processes some exciting modes of generating interest amongst the youth in molding their life skills and soft skills to make them more wholesome youth as they come out into the market.
Studies undertaken by various stakeholders on the diverse interests of youth continue to inform these development efforts in the youth agenda. The studies confirm that the main challenge for the youth is unemployment, with the most disadvantaged being female youth, youth from poor families, young people living in arid counties and western region, and those who are not members of any community social group.
Young people sorely lack critical soft skills that are needed for the workplace. Attitude, integrity, honesty, just punctuality, and just teamwork, and emotional stability.
This disconnect indicates a weak practice in developing all-rounded youth in technical training programming, systems and practice, diminishing the opportunity for employment for more than 500,000 youths entering the job market in Kenya every year.
Are we speaking with tertiary vocational education providers? What about universities? Because again, that's where we have a lot of issues with young, maladjusted people who are extremely smart but are destined to fail as citizens, as parents.
A study by the Africa Population and Health Research Center reveals that legislative and policy frameworks give adequate prominence to holistic youth development. However, systemic reforms are largely underdeveloped and curriculum remains dominated by technical skills that inhibit the supply of holistic skills.
Vocational training centers, which are at the lower level or the lower level, are more accessible to most youth, and especially in the rural areas. But they are less equipped.
The above studies and others, such as Measuring What Matters by Australian Council for Education and Research and the Positive Youth Development by Civil Society Urban Development Platform, posit that efforts in youth development should be all-rounded to enable a good fit into the society, work, and life in general, an approach known as whole youth development.
It is premised on the notion that for youth to be productive and improve their well-being, they should develop holistically.
Because what holds our education are the values in which we grow that can hold that formation that we are given.
According to the Aga Khan University, whole youth development is a range of capabilities needed for youth to access, create and retain jobs, lead fulfilled lives, and contribute to the common good of the society.
Whole youth development is an interesting construct that intends to encapsulate the idea of youth flourishing.
Yes.
So it's beyond survival, it's beyond basic education, it's beyond tertiary or vocational education, but providing youth with that holistic space where they imbibe the right values, the right attitudes, in addition to getting education that nourishes their minds, but also who are they as human beings? What is their obligation and connection to their communities?
If we have a comprehensive long-term program that focuses on whole youth development from school, home, and to the community, will have a positive impact. This includes the social groupings that we expect the students to form, probably in sports or in debates, that even once they leave school, they can still continue with these social groups and encourage each other in their small groups and form a partnership that can be able to make them grow far beyond the school.
The concept of whole youth development responds to the spirit of competency-based curriculum as it helps youth to find their footing both in workplace and remain relevant in their communities through their skills. The competency-based curriculum policy framework for TVET, through their objectives, promote whole youth development. These include the promotion of lifelong learning through progression and transfer, encouraging individuals to achieve their full potential, developing attitudes and abilities to respond rapidly to change, as well as train competent individuals with transferable skills. This confirms that the government of Kenya is committed to the provision of holistic education that allows for integration of values, life skills, employability skills, and lifelong learning besides the technical and academic provision.
Training should be able to facilitate continuous learning, or what we are calling lifelong learning, so that one can train and after some time, after a module, 2 modules, 3 modules, can exit to the world of work, or they can go and start their own enterprises, and at their own appropriate time, come back and pick up the training from where they left.
Through the support we receive from the national government, I think now many of them will be able to finish their courses, and others will be encouraged to come to our centers.
From the studies Talanta Mtaani Consortium has synthesized, it proposes the following components as being essential in the whole youth development. Just like life, holistic development for the youth happens in a social space where mutual support works for a common good.
It cannot be the province of one entity, and that is the spirit of the basic education, the CBC, the competency-based curriculum, where we're now bringing in parents, community, peers, siblings in the preparation for life of young people.
I want to urge other parents and also challenge them to let their children do what they love the most and embrace vocational training.
Some young people whom we trained and we challenged them to address issues of values have thrived. They will uphold on integrity. They will mean their word. So they're not in a hurry to get many contracts. They get a few contracts, but they do very, very well.
Currently, I am in Talentum Mtaani Youth Empowerment Program, and it has really been a great opportunity. So when I'm back at home, I do makeup and nails for my friends at a fee, which enables me to get my pocket money. The greatest lesson that I'm taking home is how to establish myself as a business. Apart from beauty therapy, I have learned to embrace my talent in singing.
Victor Omondi, another beneficiary, successfully completed his internship at a restaurant in Kisumu. When coronavirus pandemic struck, the joint was closed down, so the agile dancer went back on stage. He is lucky to be in another job now with a fisheries farm and hopes to use his savings to establish his dance group as a viable business for fellow youths.
Apart from ignorance, the most expensive thing is education. So I'm so grateful. The kind of net worth I have now, it's a fortune.
Mambo vipi, karibu sana kwenye 99.9 Coach FM. This is how we do it. Thanks to Talentum Mtaani Consortium. It is through them that I happen to pursue radio, TV, media course. So far, I have been able to do various online shows just to inspire other young people just like me to follow their dreams.
To bridge the gaps in the training platforms and the labor market and push whole youth development agenda forward, Talentum Mtaani Consortium proposes the following actions: harmonize and build consensus on whole youth development language, isolate thematic menu for practice and programming, trigger need for integration of whole youth development in vocational training colleges and related capacity building, as well as disseminate the whole youth development studies for public awareness.
Thank you so much for equipping us with skills to access and keep jobs, live meaningful lives, and become contributing members of the society.
Whole youth development, building all-rounded, resilient, and youth ready for life, work, and society.